All right, moving on to my next film. We have a film, a Netflix original, actually. It's called Triple Frontier. I always want to say Triple Threat for some reason, but no, Triple Frontier. It's like I said, it's a Netflix original. It's directed by J.C. Chander. Chander. I am the worst with names. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that, but he's also done A Most Violent Year. I think he just produced that, and he also did a film called Margin Call, which I haven't seen, but I've heard good things about. But yeah, this film, it came out in 2019. Um, and I just kind of want to personally apologize to the filmmakers on this one because I didn't even mention it in my top 19 list. Like, cause mentioned the films that I haven't seen that may have made it in, and my fringe films, and then I ran down my top 10 of 2019, and I definitely think this one deserved to be mentioned in that list because this film is really good. So yeah, I don't know if it would have made my top 10. I don't like giving it a little bit of thought. Probably not. I don't think it would have bumped any film out, but I think it would have been like Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I think it would have been near the top of my fringe films, because I had a lot of fun watching this one. But yeah. So what really makes the film worth watching though? Let's get into that. Let's get into why this film is so good. I mean, it's not like the greatest fucking film ever, but it's really great. So first off, the song choices, very rock heavy and like kind of metal a little bit at the beginning. Fucking awesome. Great song choice. From Who the Bell Tolls, from Metallica gets played, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm so glad you chose that. Even if it's not like probably the perfect song choice, but it's still great because I love that track. But yeah, so the music's kind of the shit. All five. Oh, I forgot to kind of give the background on the synopsis of the film. Sorry about that. So if you haven't, seen or haven't heard about this movie Triple Frontier, it's basically five veterans, like special forces veterans. Whether it's, I don't know, it's kind of muddy. I think they all did fight for the U.S. and their country, and they were special forces operatives, and they kind of reunite to basically steal money from this cartel leader. And they kind of rationalize it behind, like, well, he's a leader of a cartel. We're not going to kill anyone other than probably him, and then we're just going to steal all of his fucking money and then get out because we're capable warriors, and we're smart, and we can do it. And we have the knowledge and the wherewithal to do it. So it's these five operatives, and it stars Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, guy who plays Jax in Sons of Anarchy, Garrett Hedlund, and Pedro Pascal, Prince Oberyn, or even the Mandalorian in the new Mandalorian series. So yeah, let's get back to what the film does well, because I forget shit and I'm an idiot. But yeah, all five of these actors are fucking amazing in this film. Especially Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac. They both really bring it. I mean, Pedro, all of them are great. I mean, there's really no particular stand-up because they all have moments of just absolute, like, they're great, and they all work really well together and complement each other, and it's kind of the shit. But, and you also, they're all very believable, but that they're these spec ops type of dudes. I'm sure they did put in a lot of training for this. And yeah, because it just adds this extra layer of realism and grittiness to it when they're kind of performing these, like, they're clearing a house and they're, like, clearing their corners and they're communicating and everything. It's very, it seems really realistic. I mean, again, I'm not a special operative, so I don't really know, but it seems like they're doing things that special operatives would have done in this situation. So I thought that was really cool. The action scenes are really well filmed and very intense. The gunfighting, especially the very beginning, when you're introduced to Oscar Isaac's character. That whole scene is the shit. That scene's really awesome. I mean, every scene dealing with action is very intense and very well done. I mean, the film is just really well shot. You would think, oh, I mean, there's not a lot of close combat, if there's really any close combat fighting scenes. I don't think there's any. It's all just gunfighting. It's all gunplay. But yeah, it's really great. There's really no shaky cam at all. It's all, you see everything that's happening. It's filmed like anything can happen at any moment. I mean, again, because it really does. Shit goes wrong, obviously. If it went right, we really wouldn't have a film. But yeah, also just the scenery that the director picks up and the cinematographer captures is really good. It's a surprisingly very beautiful film, especially since it's called Triple Frontier. There's 3 main areas where shit goes down. Yeah, and I think they do generally a good job with the theme of, we should be taking a lot better care of guys like this in real life, and how they should have something to come back to. No, we shouldn't have reasons for them to go back to war. We should have reasons for them to come back to civilization and stay there, and not feel disenfranchised and shit upon because we don't take care of them as much as we should. And I think it does a good job, because that's what they feel like. They have to do this. They have to steal money from a fucking drug cartel leader, because they're making shit and they're not doing what they were pretty much trained and made to do. So yeah, so the film isn't absolutely perfect. Like I said, it would be very close to getting my top 10 of 2019, but I don't think it's good enough to get there. I think the 10 films that I picked are a little bit better and I enjoy a little bit more. But let's just get into why. I just kind of wish I knew a little bit more about the characters. I think it's kind of teased what they did, but it's not exactly sure what exactly they did. And I get it, you don't want to make the film any longer than it has to be, and I think they do a good job. But I wish I knew a little bit more about these characters, especially Ben Affleck's character, because that kind of leads into my next nitpick. I feel like Ben Affleck's character makes a sudden turn. I mean, understandably so, when you see that much cash and you want all of it. But he's very calculated and very conservative in his planning of the whole operation. He's also very concerned and reserved about even going into this this job and this opportunity that he has. But then it's just he makes this quick decision, this quick analysis, and just oh, no, we need to do this now. And it's I feel like you wouldn't be like that because of what I've seen from your character. But I mean, if I would have saw more of his family and his family dynamic and what happened there and what happened with them, before, actually in the war a little bit. Again, you don't want to be loaded with flashbacks, but I feel like a little bit more could have been known, so that it makes that turn make a little bit more sense, instead of, I don't know exactly what I would have done, with letting the audience in on the backstory of these characters, but I feel like we could have used a little bit more, especially for Ben Affleck's quick turn, which leads them into all this shit. Especially he does one particular fucked up thing in the film, and it's oh shit, okay, whoa. But yeah, so again, it's amazing. It's not on the actor. It's on a little bit on the story, the writers, but still, it still does a really great job, and it's still really good. But yeah, I think Ben Affleck's character could have been developed just a little bit more. But overall, does the film have the movie magic though? Does it have the Mikey's movie magic? Yes, it definitely does. Like I said, I mean, obviously, it would have been considered for the top 10 of my 2019, so yeah, it would have to have the movie magic. But I mean, I kind of feel the same with A Portrait of a Lady on Fire that I do with this one. I mean, completely different films, but my opinions on them a little bit, like overall opinions on them, are kind of the same. They both have the movie magic, but I don't really see myself watching these again. Especially if you know what happens for this one. You know what's coming, so those intense, suspenseful scenes are not as suspenseful and intense. I mean, you watch it for the performances. The action scenes are really great. I mean, I'll probably rewatch this one more than Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but I'm like immensely glad that I watched both of the films, and they're both phenomenal films, and they both are worth watching, worth checking out. So, yeah. Triple Frontier is great, especially if you like those intense, suspenseful films that are also action-packed. Definitely check this one out. If you like any of the actors that I ran down, definitely check this one out. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original film, so yeah, definitely check this one out. Triple Frontier is really, it surprised me how good it was. I didn't really have, I heard good things about it, so I had a little bit of a high expectations, but I think it definitely met those. It's not the greatest thing. It's not the greatest action film ever, but it's pretty good. It's just surprisingly really good. So, yeah, Triple Frontier, go check it out.